Today I want to talk about stack villages. It is one of my least favorite things to talk about because for most people it's not something they need. But let's crack on anyways. Okay, first, what is a stack village? Well, simply put, it's any two or more villages that are overlapping in their detection range, or put it even simpler, it's villages that are closer than 96 blocks horizontally or 76 blocks vertically. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, let's get to what I came here to show you. It's this. I'm calling it the double stack. In this configuration, it uses 20 villagers and makes about 560 ingots per hour. If you double the number of villagers to 40, it would make between 780 ingots per hour and 800 ingots. Now I know what you're thinking. Hold on there, old guy. You said 20 villagers was max 411. And yeah, that is true if those 20 villagers are in the single village. However, let's look underneath and we will get a better idea of what's going on. On the left, we have 10 villagers and 10 workstations and 20 beds. That's village A. And on the right, we have the same thing in village B. So each village makes about 280 ingots for a total of 560. Now, let me show you how to actually build the platform and the water streams and the lava and the collection system, because that's actually the least interesting part about this. So let's just get that out of the way. Because we chose a smaller footprint for the spawn area, 15 by 15 for each side, we are going to need to build this off the ground a little bit. I'm going to use some temporary blocks real quick, and we're going to go up 9 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to place a chest. Then we're going to go out 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to go up 1. And we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that should be a total of 15 blocks long. We're going to build some walls on the side like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come out one. We're gonna pretend like these don't exist right here. So we're gonna come out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even though we actually will need to plug that up. So we're gonna come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to go up 1 like that. And we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to have 15. We're going to go out 15 from all of those blocks. And 15 out from those blocks just like that on both sides. Now at this point you should have something that looks just like this. I'm going to go ahead and add these 2 glass blocks in right here. You can use upside down stairs or slabs or whatever you want to use here. This is essentially just going to be to keep the cats in. We don't want the cats spilling out. And if you want to build some elaborate cat killing system to collect the string, you go right ahead, but I'm not going to. And then we will need to go all the way around with a block to hold the water in. At this point, if you want to, you can add the water in. Now, at this point, you can use any kind of slabs you want to. You can make it fancy. You can make it pretty much anything except for wood, because the wood slabs would burn from the lava. So use cobblestone, use smooth stone, use one of the nether slabs, any slab you want to. Because we don't want our golems to spawn up here. Because we're trying to use a smaller footprint, we don't want to spawn the golems here. We want them to spawn down in the water streams so that they die. Now I'm going to do an alternate pattern like this so that it's still easy for you to count whenever you look at the world download. Okay, now right here, you're going to put the signs right here. I just realized that I'm an idiot and I made this too tall. I thought it looked right the first time, and I changed it to a capital T. I'm like, my bad. I haven't made tutorials in a while. And you can use the open nether fence gates if you want to, the warped and the crimson woods, because they don't burn either. You can use any wooden sign you want to. I recommend birch. It's the best one, but you can use any one you want. Now, simply just add lava. You can space them out so that you don't have to use as much lava. You just need to make sure you have adequate coverage. I think the minimum is 4 buckets, or you can do lava all the way across. Your choice. We missed a sign there, didn't we? Okay. At this point, we are completely done with the platform part of this. Now we get to the very interesting part. Come down here, break all of those temporary blocks because we no longer need them. And we're going to come to right here, and we're going to find our middle blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's our middle block. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to come out 2 on each side like this. And you're going to grab your bed and you're going to start placing beds. 5 beds just like that. Come in, break these blocks. These are temporary blocks, of course. You don't have to use glass. You can use dirt or anything you want to, really, for temporary blocks. So we have 5, 10, 15. And 20. And I'm going to leave these blocks here so that in the world download, they are there and you can count them. So come out like this. Once again, these don't have to be glass. These can be any block you want. Of course, you should trade with these villagers. I'm not going to for the tutorial, but you should. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that trading with them locks their profession and that they wouldn't be able to link to a different workstation. So we need 10 villagers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. We need to add 2 more workstations. Now, if you are a mobile player or you play on Switch or maybe even Xbox, PlayStation, you're going to need to add a second pod of 20 villagers. I mean, of 10 more villagers for a total of 20 for each side. You're going to need to do 20 on each side. And that's because on those versions, it doesn't keep track of unclaimed POI very well. And so then eventually at one point, one farm will produce, one village will produce golems and one village won't, because the beds from this side will end up over here, or the beds from over here will end up over here. And it only takes one bed to switch places for that village to stop producing. But on things like Realms and servers and Windows 10, that's not an issue. It has to do, and this is coming from my friend Yodolf, it has to do with a coding error of the difference between the ARM processors. So keep that in mind. You've already noticed that we actually already started spawning golems on this side because this side is complete. Now, where we are at over here is the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4. And we're going to build this the same. Only we have to actually stack the villages this time. We can't just build another village here. Because if we did, it would be one solid village. Now, as where I only came out 1 block last time, I'm going to come out a few blocks just to make it a little easier on myself. Let's choose a different profession block. The good old handy cartographer table. Now, make a note of the Z coordinates, because we're going to need to come out 100 blocks. Look, okay, I don't know why I couldn't place a block there. So we're going to need to come out to well over 100 blocks. We need to come out 100 blocks at least. 96 is the minimum, but I like to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. And I like to make this path very wide. At least 3 blocks. You can do it with 1 or 2, but I prefer 3. And of course, these are all temporary blocks. And I like to put a little bit of a guardrail on the side, because anytime villagers get an opportunity to do something stupid, they will take it. If you're going to make this out of solid blocks like dirt or stone or something, you're going to need torches. You can use leaves or glass or pretty much any block you want to. I actually cannot use leaves because you can't place beds down on leaves. But the rest of blocks should work. Anything you can place a bed down on. Now, this is where you're going to bring a bed or 2 beds. And we're going to wait for it to get night. Actually, I'm going to start right here. So bring you 2 villagers from wherever you're getting your villagers from. Not a baby. And if you have 8 more villagers, you're going to need to keep them like 100 blocks away from here. So just leave them way over here for right now. Right? It's best to leave them at wherever you're going to get them at. But if you had your villagers already, leave them way over here. Okay? Just build your little pod, put them right there. So you take your 2 villagers, and then a 3rd bed, and you place this bed here. This is just walking this village up. It's the same way it's been ever since 1.11. I even did it in 1.13 and 1.14 when people told me it couldn't be done. It's not new. There's nothing new about this. You just take your beds and you walk them up like this. These are the only 2 villagers in this village. Those villagers are 100 blocks away, so they aren't part of this village. That village is over 100 blocks, so they aren't part of this village. This is its own village. Those villagers that are over there in that pod, they aren't in any village. And you just simply walk these guys in like this. Don't go too fast. If I broke this bed before this guy linked to that bed, it would break the village, and these guys would link to that other village. So take your time, go slow, watch for the particles. It's not hard, it's just tedious to do. And I designed this farm. I'm going to leave this one in a state of undone so you can practice stacking. I'm going to leave all of these pathways here so that you can practice this yourself. I think when people practice stacking a little bit, they will get good at it and it won't be such a big deal. It's just a matter of timing. See, he linked. You come break this one. And like I said, these guardrails right here, I find them to be super important. Because if a villager has an opportunity to do something dumb, like fall off of here, he absolutely 100% of the time will. I cannot tell you how many times I've had one fall off because I didn't put guardrails up. So now I never stack villages without guardrails. I'm doing it a little quickly because I've done this a bunch of times, but you need to go very slowly if this is your first time stacking villages, or if you're not very experienced. Now, this is a bug that happens sometimes. You'll see this right here from time to time. What you need to do is come break that bed. Notice that he's back up. Just place him another bed down. I don't know why it happens. It happens all the time though. Very common. Don't freak out. Everything is still fine. If you get to a point where the sun is coming up like this and you aren't in creative like I am, here's what you would do is you would just build some walls like this and keep your villagers from wandering off, and then just wait until nighttime again. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be completed in one night. Don't wait for it to become daytime though. When you see the sun start rising, you get those villagers walled off. You will thank me later. Now here towards the end, don't get lazy. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep a steady pace. I know it's boring. It's just something, if you want to build a stack farm, this is what it takes. Now here we are at the trickiest part of this whole deal. Now, notice that I didn't place him a bed down. I don't actually need to. What I need for him to do is be in this hole right here. Now, what I need to do is come place 4 beds. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to place 10 beds, actually. Give him a couple seconds to link to one of them. Push him in also. Okay. Now this village is established. We have 10 beds here. If you are going to do 20 villagers, now is the time to place all of your beds. We're not though. And remember these villagers that you have way over here in the pod? I'm not going to put them over here in the pod, but you can build a rail system to bring these guys all the way to about 92 blocks. Okay. About right here. So we're going to need 8 more villagers. Now, if you wanted to bring those 8 and bring them by rail, bring them to right about here, what we need to be is within 96 blocks of those beds. But we want to be further than 96 blocks from the first village, Village A. We want to be outside of Village A, but inside of Village B detection range. We're actually obviously not. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll just push this guy a couple of blocks. And if you brought him in by rail and then I kick them out of the minecart right here, they'll walk over here on their own at nighttime. Because they're headed towards, even during the daytime they will, because they'll link to those workstations. And most of them will bump each other into the hole. But you will need to come push a couple. And you just walk around like this, pushing them in the hole. It's not rocket surgery. And a couple of them will be kind of stubborn. There you go. Just like that. Now add 2 more workstations so that all of these guys have workstations. And add the other beds. And now we're getting golem spawning on this side too. Look at that. So we're getting golem spawning from village A and from village B. Now, let's talk about how this works and why it doesn't trigger a TS timer, because I know that's going to be a question I get. The head of the bed is right here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks. And 8 blocks this way. So from any of these beds right here, it can spawn in a 16 by 16 area. That means 8 blocks in every direction. So none of these golems ever spawn over here in the spawn area for this village. This is literally 1 block difference between having TS timer issues and not having TS timer issues. See that? 2 golems, 1 on each side, 1 for each village. Because we only have 10 villagers in each village. If you had 20 villagers in each village, you would get 4 golems at a time. You would have 2 for each village. And so we are literally 1 block difference between having TS timer issues and not having TS timer issues. That's how I'm able to do this so closely. If there's any other questions, comments, just leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them as best as YouTube will allow me. I no longer have a Discord, so you can find me on other Discords, I guess, probably Exploit, Bob, Analyzing Minecraft, BrokeRock. You can find me on Prowl's Discord. You can find me Skippy's Discord. You can find me a lot of places. Where you're not going to find me is a lot of the tech Discords. So hit me up on Discord if you have a question. That's it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Take care of each other.